Yo, 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 it's your boy Nikki Duce, a.k.a. It's Your Boy, and we here for No Disrespect. How y'all doing?
Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Simani here.
And we got a special guest.
I feel like a guest now. God damn. What's happening, y'all? It's Swaff in the motherfucking building.
He's back.
So, my baby, I'm back in town. And I'm staying here.
Bro, your baby grown as hell by now.
Right.
How long you been gone, nigga?
I'm a deadbeat at that point.
But, yeah, how y'all doing? How y'all weekend starting off? It's Saturday and shit like that.
I love summertime in Cincinnati, man. It puts me in such a great mood.
Summertime Cincinnati.
Oh, man. I love the city during
I
the
can't
summer.
admit that. Yeah, I do fuck with Cincinnati, especially in the summer and
There's
springtime.
always something going on. I mean, downtown at least. Let me not drag it. But there's always events and things like that going on. Taste of Cincinnati is the end of this month. I'm really looking forward to that.
Damn, for real? Oh, that's why your
Yes.
dumb ass is coming over.
What, for Memorial Day?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in this bitch. Yeah, for sure.
Damn,
And
I
we're
do
going
love the
cabrewing.
taste.
Oh, yeah, they was talking about
We're
going canoeing. So-
Cabrewing.
I mean, yeah.
Come back, Nick. Come back.
Y'all need to go canoeing. Let the niggas do cabrewing. Y'all
Oh,
gonna
don't
have
do
to-
that.
No,
I've done this before.
I actually have-
Don't
Oh,
do
you
that.
done this before?
Yes, come on.
Oh, yeah, you with
The
it
water
then.
is dirty
You
as
with the
fuck,
shits.
and it's
Niggas like
whatever.
Nick, go canoeing first time, bro. Get your bases down canoeing, then go drunk as fuck.
Nigga, I don't give a fuck about what you don't
Yeah.
don't regulate my shit. Nigga, I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Shit. I'll go. What is it?
I'm just
What
saying,
is-
learn
I-
from a nigga's mistakes.
I'll do that too, Chase.
First
I'll be
time I
drunk
went
and high at
canoeing,
the
I
same
tried to go
time, drinking
canoeing and it
champagne
didn't
on the
work out.
airplane. Nigga.
That was literally us last year. They have bottles, they're smoking, all types of stuff.
All right, you gonna flip over and then what's
Shut up.
Nigga, I can. Well, I got the vest on. I can swim up until the point where I stop. Then I drown.
Oh yeah, that's most niggas.
The point is Memorial Day weekend is going to be lit.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I think
I
everybody will be
actually got
back in town.
plans in Atlanta that weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what I'm
womp
saying?
womp.
But,
Well, I'll be in the natty. You feel me? It kind of
Okay.
feels strange being back in Cincy.
It does, because I realize how shit nice. Like, I love the city, but I'm definitely glad I moved. So
Yeah, for real. Made the move to Atlanta. Damn, we all situated. Imani coming in what, November?
November. I'm
Damn, we
coming.
all gonna be out there.
Yep, no disrespect. We still gonna be with it. We still gonna have
We
you
still
know
gonna fuck with your Cincinnati, folks.
That's where we come from. That's
Like
where
y'all know.
That's
who
our
we
biggest
fuck
audience.
with.
Yeah,
Literally.
but yeah, we gotta
Trying to
step up.
expand.
Yeah, we trying to
Mhm,
expand. You know what I'm saying? To hot Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta, actually, hey, that's actually a good segue.
No, nice
for
little
us.
segue.
Wow.
That was a good one. I'm gonna give you that. That was good.
Speaking
That
of
was good.
Atlanta, there's a nigga named Donald Glover who was causing a ruckus
We've been shaking some shit up.
Man.
in media. You know, he was on SNL. He killed it. He's got his own hit TV show called Atlanta that's been out for a couple years now.
Multi-talented guy. I didn't realize how much you actually did.
He do a
Directing,
lot of shit.
producing. I didn't realize that.
He about to be in the new Star Wars film.
Yeah,
He
I saw the
playing-
acting,
He playing the only nigga in Star
singing.
Wars.
Oh my
Rapping.
gosh, do not forget about Samuel L. Ever.
Oh
In your
yeah.
life.
I'm talking about but he's more famous
Don't
than
forget about
Samuel L's
Yoda
character.
either.
Lando is the most famous black dude in Star Wars.
Who?
Lando.
Who is Lando? The dude, Donald Glover?
Yeah, Lando Castillo. He's the most famous black dude. He's played by Billy D. Williams and shit.
I disagree.
No?
Samuel
Okay.
L. is clearly the most.
That's the
famous
one that
black.
you grew up on, nigga. But
I mean,
nonetheless,
shoot, Samuel
Y'all know
L.
what we talking about.
yeah, we know what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about, of course, everybody had their own reactions and shit like that. We, of course, gonna give our hot takes on his video / single that he released called This Is America.
This is America.
So, first reactions. First and
Don't
foremost.
catch you slipping. I think it's video of the year. Go ahead, man.
I think
Chill out.
Donald Glover is doing a great job of what Kanye West is trying to do.
All right, this is why, all right.
He's doing amazing.
Why do we have to put down one black man to bring up another one?
Real talk.
saying.
Real talk. Hey, I feel what you're coming from.
He is literally going through.
Womp, womp.
He is literally a mental patient at this point.
He's
He
off
is-
his meds.
He needs help.
He's off his meds, and we're expecting him to be the Kanye of old.
Yeah, exactly. Like we realize that the
Listen,
old
man.
Kanye ain't coming back. So, and this nigga's going through some shit. Let's just focus on.
He's married to a Kardashian. That's the first problem.
Fucked him up. for life.
Let's focus on
Fuck
this
them
one
up.
black man. Well, we don't have to.
We're gonna focus on Donald Glover.
We already
love the video concept.
Okay.
Start with that.
We love the video.
Just because I appreciate videos and visuals, because we got into a day and age where like visuals kind of like went downhill for a while.
Yeah, because we grew up on the
like
90s.
Missy Elliott.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes. Who else was doing some shit? Shit, Diddy and them. Like,
yes. Like just the visuals were crazy,
Yeah.
different stuff. And then we kind of lost that and got into like the
ringtone rap era.
Yes.
It was a dance.
Yes.
It was just doing dances.
They be on the Cadillac dancing
Yeah.
and stuff, booty shaking, and then like I feel like we're getting back to like visuals and
like
stuff.
with Kendrick, with J. Cole.
I'm gonna bring this up too, and y'all probably not gonna agree. I don't like the songs, the 2 songs that like Nicki Minaj just released, but the visuals I really do like. So like,
well, Cootie, who shout out to Cootie, you know what I'm saying? I always gonna shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? She ain't with us right now. You know what I'm saying? Like she off getting some dick dropped
stop
off to
saying
her.
that. Stop.
She had a dick appointment.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
Pipe it up.
she was saying the complete opposite. She first of all, she says the songs are shit.
No, I agree with
and
that.
the video is garbage.
Garbage.
Well, which video did she see?
She saw the. I think she
She was talking about Barbie things. I'm talking about
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li. Yes.
I haven't seen either one of those.
I saw the first video
They're
for
good.
Chun-Li. She released 2.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the second one.
Okay.
Like the official video. I don't know what that
She
was. Maybe
released
it was
like an
a
Instagram
teaser.
one, right?
Snapchat version
Teaser
or some
something.
shit.
I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know.
my point I'm trying to make is like we're getting back into the generation of like making good videos and good concepts. So like when you're watching Donald Glover's video, there's so many things like I've had to stop, pause, replay, rewind, just because there's so many things that you miss. And I'm even reading like some blog post, and they'll point out something that I missed before. I'm like, well, dang, I gotta go back and watch it too, and then I'll see it. So like,
Right.
very well done. I think he plays his character well as
Yeah,
well.
you have to watch it at least like probably 3, 4, 5
I
times.
say 5.
Just to
Yeah,
just to
at
even
least.
to
I say
like
5.
get the scope of the whole video, because there's like multiple theories out there about
Right.
like what his meaning and what his message is.
And I can't
he's
wait
trying
till he
to
does
convey.
that first interview.
Yeah.
Just like
well, he did have an
explaining.
interview
Oh, he
about
did?
it. Well, he was just saying like I just wanted to make a song for you to play on 4th of July.
so-
But I feel like he's doing that shit.
That's what
like,
he said?
Yeah, I feel like he's doing that shit on purpose. Well, first of all, my first reaction to it was I thought it was like a really well. I'm in the cinematography, so I thought the video was shot very well. And then I kind of got a little from what I got from it from first viewing was that he was showing like what black people go through in America in like 4 minutes, like catching people up. Like if you haven't been watching news lately, this is what like if we gonna bring up Kanye, if Kanye was sat down and watched this video, he might have would have said some things differently when he went to TMZ, because obviously you can see that black people have been getting shot lately, have been dealing with a lot of police brutality, but
Right.
like you saw how they took care of the guns and like dragged the bodies away, so they cared about the guns more than the bodies. But his caricature of it was more of like the America was what's going on in the background, and black people are distracting or like entertainers
Like what the
distract
school
you.
kids were dancing in the front with him and
You
stuff.
distract. His character was a distraction for what's really going on in America. Like entertainment distracts you from that. So you was looking at them dancing, you was looking at them having a good time and like turning up and shit. But people in the back
Doing
are
the latest
dying.
dance
People are-
crazes and stuff.
People in the back are doing some other shit and whatever. So I
They
think he was
fighting.
like. It was a way to show that the media or like they put things in the forefront to distract you from what's really going on.
Yeah.
I thought it was really. I just thought it was a really good. If it was out of 10, I'll give it like 9.5. Like I thought it was a really good
Yeah,
video.
very well done.
Yeah, when I first saw it, it kind of like just shocked me. Like I was just sitting there, kind of like struck. Like damn, it had been a long time since a music video kind of left me speechless. Like damn, I was just sitting there thinking like, wow, he really like he really was putting like a message into what he was doing without really saying shit. Cause the song, the lyrics, it ain't shit. His lyrics. I'm an artist, so I can interpret. I mean,
Like the actual lyrics of the song.
yeah, I can actually
say.
analyze the shit. And Gambino, I mean, from my perspective, he's not the best artist. He's not the best musician. As far as like when I think of like a rapper or some shit like that or a hip hop
I
artist.
have a question before you continue. Do you think he's a better like rapper or a better singer?
I think a perfect word for him is
He's an artist. He's
an
a better
artist.
artist.
he's just really honestly.
I'm just trying to figure out what part of him you
wholeheartedly
don't
an
feel like
artist.
he's a not good artist.
I feel like he got better.
Like this
as
day and
artist.
age, like trying to blend with like what's going on. He's like caught in a gray area when it comes to his music, and that's what's kind of appealing about him too, because especially after his last album.
Because of the internet.
No.
Oh, you talking about "Awaken My Love"?
Yeah, especially because that he went into a realm that no other hip hop artist is going to delve into.
Well,
no other rap artist is going to delve into, and I can appreciate him for that. But for that simple fact, that's where he needs to be, type shit. That's where he flourished. Rap, this song lyrically, I mean, beat wise, it was cool. It was cool. I fuck with it. It has a little jive, but I'm never going to listen to it unless I'm watching the video with it.
Nah, I disagree.
And that's me personally.
I feel like people
But
like.
hold on, I'm still on my review though. At the same time.
Damn, nigga, you wrong.
My reaction to this shit, once I started watching it though a little bit more, I started seeing like those different motifs and the different themes of it. And you were saying like it's kind of like a video kind of displaying like that, like what black people go through and we're still being distracted. I kind of interpreted it as like his use of the kids and the shit, like he did definitely reference certain things like the church, the shooting in Charleston. He kind of referenced the police brutality. My sister even mentioned some shit about a motherfucker death riding a horse in a police car following it.
Yes.
But the most thing that stood out to me is when he was dancing with the kids and how the kids were, not him, but the kids was happy as fuck dancing. And it kind of just showed me like, that's damn near a coping mechanism for them with all this turmoil and chaos happening around them. How do they cope with that shit? How do they try to prevent it from traumatizing them if they can? And they do it through this shit, entertainment, dancing, just trying to mask that shit with, you know, fun. And that I think that's true. I mean, I think that's a good point. At the same time, shit, this nigga needs to, if he's gonna come on an interview and explain it, he don't need to be saying some shit like, oh, I just made this. Kinda? I just made it so people can bump this for the summer.
He's doing that because like art is for your it's subjective. Like I think he's more about he's the type of person who throws shit out, and then you define it. Like wherever you feel like it is, that's what it is. Like I don't think he
like he's very smart. He knows what he's doing.
He doesn't care to over explain or to like, cause you know how sometimes you hear a song, and then you think of a song one way. Like when I heard that SZA song, The Weeknd. I thought it was an anthem for the side chicks. And then when she came out and she said it, like, no, it's not really that. It's more of a song that's about, like, off and on relationship or some shit like that. Like, basically, she construed what I thought the song was, and it kind of made me like, damn, like.
Messed up your vision.
Yeah, it kind of made me messed up my viewpoint. And I feel like sometimes artists should just let things go and let people determine what it is and not really say much about it.
Because there's been so much, like, in terms of hearing back about it. There's so many conflicting sides, and for him to say that, it's gonna keep the conversation going.
And also, it's because we're all right. Like whatever we saw is what it's
in the video.
It's in the video. I'm saying we're all right to a certain extent. Like maybe he has a grand scheme of how he saw this, like what his vision was and what the main message he was trying to get across. But the fact that it's starting a conversation, the fact that a lot of people are talking, the fact that people are even thinking about things more in depthly when it comes to just music is a beautiful thing. So. I tip my hat to him on that.
That's a fair point, but at the same time, like I said, being an artist, that's damn near like that's doing a disservice, not only to yourself, your art, but to the motherfuckers who are really a fan of what you do. Like if you're not gonna take the time to explain like what was going through your head when you was making this, it's cool to say, all right, I'm just gonna let this die. I mean, I'm not gonna let it die, but I'm gonna just let the people take it where it's gonna go. That's one thing. But if you made this video for a reason, explain that reason, or what the fuck did you make the video for?
Well, it's only his first interview. He's probably just letting the train ride out a little bit.
Bro. You can't give out no you ain't gonna break
give out, bro. You'll be surprised. That would have been a perfect time to give.
When the last time you see somebody break down some shit on a red carpet?
Shit, Jim Carrey.
No,
real talk, Jim Carrey,
bruh.
I'm waiting until he gets on like Big Boy Radio or on Breakfast Club. Usually those be like the long, in-depth interviews. So maybe he'll go a little bit deeper into his.
I hope he does.
Viewpoint.
I hope he does. Because I mean, it's cool to like say, all right, y'all interpret this, take it for what you will. But his message is a little bit too deep for that shit. We can go 100 ways with it, obviously.
So okay, with that being said, since you were the one that brought up Kanye first, I'm not really gonna try to talk about him that much because ain't really much to talk about that hasn't already been said. But the one point that I got from that, and it kind of relates to this America video, was distractions. I think we all agree that there's distractions in the video, and there's distractions in the rhetoric that Kanye was speaking about. As black people, we're going to get a little deep here. Okay. As black people, Kanye's main point was that we've been mentally enslaved for hundreds of years.
Yes.
Do you think that black people... It's on us to change our circumstances and not waiting for the government or America, quote unquote, America, to help us out with that?
Well, I think
we've been asking for reparations for centuries. We're never gonna get that.
We've already passed
Has there been certain distractions from us doing that? Has there been certain things in place that have kept us from that, as far as like politics and all that? Or is it just on us that we don't connect as a community to build up our own?
I think it's on us. Because I think once you get to a certain point and position where you can make that difference, especially in the black community, because most of the times when you reach that peak or that position, you're either in entertainment, or you've been sheltered from the experiences of the common black folk. So either you've inherited some shit or your family been well off for a minute. So you don't really, that's not really what you're talking about. It's rarely like you see somebody who's, come from a impoverished family or impoverished predicament, and they just grind it up, and it's just into some common ass work field. Usually it's basketball, usually it's music, usually it's acting, some radio, something dealing with entertainment. Usually is what projects us into that next tax bracket where we're in a position where we can actually speak and we have a platform to do some shit. That's usually the case. And once we get there, I feel like it's damn near we're brainwashed at that point. Like the shit you're expected to wear as an artist or as a black man making money, or the way you're supposed to act, it feeds into like that perception of, I feel like, oh, the white man wants us to have type shit. That's why you see motherfuckers like artists, they're wearing shit like Gucci, Hermes. They're wearing shit like Christian Dior. They're wearing shit like shit that Europeans has come up with. It's not shit that, it's not black owned, you feel me, companies. It's not black owned fashion lines and shit like that. And because you have money, you feel like, all right, well shit, I can just blow this money on this. And we don't think it, you might not be thinking of it and, automatically as, oh, I'm funding another white man's pockets, but that's really what it is at the end of the day. And that's the type of brainwashing I'm talking about. That's damn near being mentally enslaved.
My question comes from the point of view of, and I don't want to make this like, black people versus white people, the white man's holding me down. My mindset is more of, as black people, as a black community, why haven't we, after the civil rights era, been able to put ourselves in positions of power or not even positions of power? How come we haven't come together as a community, like the Asian communities, like the Italian communities, like the Hispanic communities, where they have a sense of purpose. They have a sense of, we move this way. This is what we do. This is what we stand for. This is how we build something. They build communities. Anytime you go to New York, there's a Chinatown, or there's a section out
Not
there.
even in New York. You can go to
LA,
most major cities and they have some type of China
or like,
town.
or in any city you see when you go, when
They got that for black folks.
when you go to a nail salon, mostly it's an Asian run business. When you go to a cleaner, like a dry cleaner, it's mostly an Asian run business. When you go to like certain places, like when you look at contractors or landscapers, they're mostly a Mexican owned business or something like that. Like they have a specific area and field where they hold that shit down.
But isn't it kind of like what Swaff said? Like each race kind of dominates certain industries. So like how he was saying about the music and the basketball, and what was the other one? You had like 3 examples.
Radio.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Acting.
That's what the third one was. Certain races just dominate certain industries.
But I'm just saying, but if you look at the race, the field that he was, I guess you were saying that black people, we do entertainment. That creates a lot of revenue and money and streams like that. And why is it only that Jay-Z is the one that's trying to get his own streaming service and like Diddy doing his own network and shit? Like, how can we have, it seems like we have a lot of resources and capital, but we just can't seem to come together as a community and build some shit to where it sustains us. Like, I'm tired of hearing about back in Oklahoma, like that city that was black owned. I forgot what it was called. It was like in Tulsa.
Black Wall Street?
But it was like in Oklahoma and they burned it down, basically.
Oh, yeah, that was the Black Wall Street.
Yeah, like that. But then after that, nobody did nothing. Like, we haven't seen something like that since.
They didn't rebuild.
You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't rebuild, or they didn't rebuild somewhere else. Like, how come we just do one? Like, ever since Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and all them people passed, like, it seems like we haven't been able to define ourselves as a community. We're always fighting with each other, or
We was fighting back then.
but it seemed like we were. I know we were always. I mean, you're always gonna fight with your family, but we were just more as a unit. And
I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out.
You kind of had to be though, because like when you're put in like dire situations like that, and that's with anything in life. If your family is going through a rough time, and it's hard times, people come together. And I'm not saying that we're not going through rough times right now, but like times are just so different now than like back then. And I always say this. I think social media plays such a big part in that, in terms of dividing us as people. And
Definitely.
it's those people with the Twitter fingers sitting behind a screen with no identification, saying whatever they want to say, and just like not really putting on the forefront, because back then there was no choice but to be on the forefront. You couldn't sit behind a screen and type away and have your voice heard. Like, that wasn't an option. So like you really had to make sure that you were either in front of the TV screen. TV was a big thing back then. Making sure you go to these speeches, because it was power in numbers. Like, I think Kanye's point before, when he was saying how he said we could have done something about it. I think is pretty much what his point was. Like, why did we allow ourselves to be enslaved for so many years? It seemed like the only option at that time was to fight physically. There was no other way, and because he was saying how there was more of us than there was of them.
Yeah.
So why did we allow them to enslave us for so many years? The only solution to that would have been like fighting, like literally putting your hands on your slave masters, or finding different ways to escape. Even though there's power in numbers, but then again, you think about the resources that the white community had as well.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is that in 2018, I can't see how someone can say black people can't do this because of slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's like
are we not past that?
Exactly. Like, have we not progressed as like?
So you think there's no type of systematic oppression still?
No,
going
I'm not
on?
saying that at all. I'm not saying that.
That's damn near what slavery was. It was systematic.
I understand. I'm not saying that black people is like it's free range. Like, we just lazy as fuck and we haven't been doing shit since because of, and we're using slavery as an excuse. I'm just saying like there's a lot of even during those times, slave people did shit. Like Harriet Tubman, Thurgood Frederick Douglass. Like, those people, like, they were radical and they did shit. They got shit done. Nat Turner, like, these motherfuckers, like, even at the most time where it was the most oppression, it was the most racism, it was the hardest time to be black, they got shit done and accomplished. And moving on to the Martin Luther Kings, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, like, they, again, hard time. Like James Baldwin, all these people, hard time, got shit done, galvanized people, got shit done. And then after that, it's like there was a huge drop off. Like, there was like the crack epidemic, the 90s era, and then like it's up till now. It's like, where is that sense? Where are our leaders? Like, I know there's people leading and stuff, but to me, the fact that police brutality and there's certain gentrification and there's certain things that are affecting our community from the local all the way up to the federal, and we have no say in how these things are going. Like
at all.
I mean, I personally,
how does that happen?
I think we got just as much, if not more, people to look up to these days than we do.
But what are they doing?
What do you mean? What are they doing, bro?
Like, I asked you the question. I was like, policy wise, because it goes back to like when Chance was tweeting like black people don't have to be Democrats, and then people was like, and I think he was trying to say that to support Kanye's point of like free thinking and all that, and black people like killed him because it was like, oh, so that means you were supporting Trump and all that shit. It's like, nah, it's just more of like, question everything. Like Jay-Z once said, question religion, question it all until all the answers are solved. Like, question all that shit. Why do black people are known? Like, I saw the episode of Blackish where his family was like, didn't even want his son to deal with, like, to date this girl whose parents were Republicans, and it was another black family, but they were Republicans. And they didn't want them to. The word Republican was so like demonic in their household.
The separation was right there.
It was just like, why can't you be black and be a Republican? Why can't you, like, what have the Democrats done for black people since the Civil Rights era? And like, or like whatever. And of course you could say what have Republicans done for black people, but I'm just saying, like, politics in general. What has any politician? What has any group of people done for black people?
Some people are stuck
that
in
we
the old
haven't
ways,
done.
though.
That we haven't done for ourselves. Like, Democrats didn't help pass that civil rights bill. That was black people.
But I'm saying some people don't look at that. They don't look at history. They just kind of, there's always been a stigma in the black household that, like, we don't do Republican most of the time. Like, that's normally the conversation. Like, we are Democrats. And you're not even, as a kid, you're not even taught why
Exactly.
you're a Democrat. You're just a Democrat. And you don't question it. You grow up with that. Okay, I'm a Democrat. And you get the stigma in your head like, okay, Democrat equals black, Republican equals white.
Exactly. Democrat equals poor black.
Right.
Republican equals rich white.
Yes, exactly. So if you were ingrained with that since you were a kid, it's like as you get older, and yes, as adults, it's our responsibility to ask questions like, all right, I'm in my 20s now. What's really going on in terms of politics and things like that? And you start looking at history.
Yeah, because to me, it's just like Democrats are like, if I was a woman, and I was a loyal, faithful woman, and Democrats are more of like, the way I'm seeing it is like they're the guy that says a lot of good things, but don't do shit for you.
That's a great analogy.
You said what now?
That was a great analogy.
So like say Democrats to me, like if I was in a relationship, I'm a citizen. I'm in a relationship with a Democrat, or like as a whole, like I'm just as an entity. To me, I'm a loyal, faithful woman, and Democrats are a man who says a lot of good things, makes a lot of promises, but doesn't fulfill those things.
What are
Hasn't
Republicans?
fulfilled. And I'm not talking about Republicans.
I'm saying bring them into the fold.
Oh, and Republicans are the Republicans is the niggas that never that cat call you. That's what, that you know already ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about like Democrats. Like I'm not trying to shit on Democrats. I'm not trying to praise Republicans. All I'm saying is that we as a race have been a diehard for certain things, for certain we've grouped ourselves with other agendas that haven't really progressed us as a people, to be honest. Like to me, black people are the only reason why black people are in the position they are now.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, but it's also kind of sad is because we don't really have that support from the outside, let alone ourselves sometimes.
So are we talking about the black community now, or are we now talking about
I've only been talking about the black community.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
get into politics.
Get into politics. I'm just the reason why I brought politics in is because like as a black community, politicians haven't done shit for us for real. Martin Luther King went to Lyndon B. Johnson for the Civil Rights Bill. You know what I'm saying? Lyndon B. Johnson didn't go to Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Like he initiated that contact, he initiated that sense of purpose. So black people, I'm just trying to say like we need to, why haven't we realized that since then? Like that we have to create the change, and why hasn't that change happened? Because to me, the fact that Obama was in office and it was is in the era of police brutality was shocking to me. Like Obama was great. He's probably the greatest president I've ever seen. But to me, to have a black man in office and there still not be any policy done to change to get these officers indicted or anything, that says something to me. Like that says something like that maybe he was either shackled to his position and couldn't do much even though he probably wanted to, that it should have been on us.
That's always the case.
It should have been on us as the people. It should have been on us as the people to vote people in and take people out, but we didn't do that because we thought a black man was in office. We was chilling.
But
everybody always talks about
Obama had a tough enough time getting policies passed that help white people, let alone a policy or something to change that is going to help just black people. That's hard to do in the system, especially in the government when it comes to the government. As much backlash as he was getting. Then you talk about just police brutality and the system that it is. The justice system is the most racist system in the United States to date.
And not just police brutality, like everything, like court cases.
Everything from the moment you're pulled over, your ass is beat, your ass is handcuffed, taken to prison, and your case is discussed among other white folks. That whole process is riddled with racist ass stigmas, racist ass routines and patterns that Obama's not going to be able to just come in and just try to fix that shit to where it's in favor of us or where it's neutral. That's some shit that's been happening since we come to this motherfucking country. So with that being said, I do agree with I feel like, I mean, saying from the outside looking in, like the nigga could have done more for us specifically. But he tried to go a roundabout way of doing shit, in my eyes. Shit like when he was exonerating all those people who was arrested for nonviolent crimes. He was
pardoning people.
Yeah. And I mean, I still think it would affect the black community when he made it legal, federally legal for gay marriage. Because there's a lot of gay niggas out here. Shit. And so that affected us to some degree. Huh?
Don't be like that.
I mean, there's gay people in the black community. I mean, you can't say like that. We don't have no leaders that are doing something at this day and age. I mean, Obama's are two of them that you'll name right off the bat. Both of them was putting shit in place for us.
But I'm saying that why do we think he was gonna change something?
Why did we think?
Yeah.
Because we thought he was in the most powerful position in the United States.
Exactly.
Which is a lie.
Yeah, we know
exactly.
We know
so, but I'm saying like our whole history as black.
That's our fault.
Exactly. I'm saying our whole history as black people, the government hasn't been there to help us. So why for 8 years did we think that the government was going to help? Like to me, that whole 8 years, close to a decade, could have been time that we could have got some shit going, and we laxed.
And that was 10
years
later.
And now we in the aftermath of it.
I think that we can get as much progress with a black president in office as we can with a motherfucking Trump in office. We can still make progress because most of these issues is going to be from a state to state case rather than a federal case.
And I feel like as black people we need to start coming together more. And
in what sense?
Coming together more as far as we need to cut the bullshit out. Like you were saying, Suave. We endorse so much other shit. we are distracted by so much other shit. We support so much other shit besides ourselves.
Yeah.
We fight with ourselves more than we support. We fight with ourselves just as much as we support others. And it's like
just support something as simple as like supporting black businesses.
supporting your business. I'm all for Curse Cooks. I'm all for black owned the clothing apparel in Cincinnati. I'm all for.
They know what we need.
I'm all for
the black community knows
yeah.
what the black community needs.
I'm all
and
for
they cater to
Starstruck,
that.
my homie Jalil's company. I'm all for OCD Cakes,
Yes.
James Devon's company. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all for black people. Like, if anything black, I'm supporting that shit. But not everybody's on it because they've either had done business with a black person one time, they fucked up, and they went right back to the
What
to
they
the
know.
mainstream.
Yeah, with the mainstream and what they know.
So it's like, to me, like, financial power is always is the best power you can have in this country. Like, whoever controls the money controls everything. So
I don't know. I feel like whoever controls the word,
The word of what?
your words, the
Oh, your
power of the
words.
tongue, press. That's how Trump got in office.
If you don't got nothing to back that up, though,
the
no one
power of the
listening.
tongue is the most powerful.
He couldn't run for office. He had no money. That's
Huh?
what he couldn't run for office the way he did if he didn't have his own money.
Yes, he could have.
No,
he
he
would have
don't.
just had to accept donations.
No,
Hillary ran without no money. Shit, a motherfucking monkey got. You know how many votes this motherfucking Harambe got? And then these two potheads from.
I forgot about that.
You remember them two potheads that was running, like wholeheartedly saying, "All right, I stand by marijuana." They didn't come from no money. They was out there, had a campaign of their own.
People were
Trump-
really voting for Harambe.
Bruh,
Wow.
Trump,
You talking about a monkey and
his most powerful
Bruh, we talking
powerful
about some
device
real
was not
shit.
money, bro. It was his word. It was his
No,
power to
The
speak.
fact that he could say whatever he want to is because he had his own money. He didn't need nobody else to back him. He was already a billionaire.
He didn't need no sponsors.
He didn't need no sponsor.
Usually
None
when
of
you
that
have
shit.
sponsors, they kind of
They
mold
kind of
and
control.
shape your
Those are the
your
lobbyists. He didn't
campaign.
need lobbyists.
Even if he had lobbyists, bro, he was gonna speak. Nowadays, he has lobbyists, and he still speaks how he wants to.
Because he never needed them. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had his own money early.
And that was because he had what power? Of the tongue.
He had power of the money.
Power of the tongue, bro, is the most powerful thing. That's what I was telling you. I was telling you the first example of it was when the serpent convinced Eve to convince Adam to eat the apple. Like, shit, he ain't forced Eve to do that. He convinced her. He didn't showcase his money and all the splendors he had.
That money
He
wasn't
convinced
irrelevant
her.
at that time.
No, I know, but value in things wasn't. And if anything, that's what it boils down to is what value you put on something. What is money to a motherfucker who? What is a motherfucking yen to us right now? Nothing. What is a piece of silver to us right now? We can't go spend that, but that was currency at one time.
Well, I mean,
money is literally just a concept. It's a construct. But your words, that shit is powerful.
But we're in such a money-driven society right now. Like, if you have no money, you can't even get in the same social circle of certain people. Because who you gonna speak to? You gonna speak to the people who can't do nothing about it, or you're gonna speak to the people who can actually like do some shit because they're in power already.
I don't know. One of the leaders you was talking about, Harriet Tubman, she ain't had no money.
She had a shotgun.
What if she had the power of the tongue?
She had
What if
the
she had the
shotgun.
power of the tongue? Because you know it takes a hell of a lot of convincing to risk your. I mean, we was in an oppressive state, but we was going that pattern.
She had
We
a-
was cool. We weren't cool with it, but we was gonna be in that state
She had
until somebody spoke up. They didn't come up with a dollar talking about, look, I'll get you this money if we dip out of here right now. No, she convinced these motherfuckers to leave their situation.
No, what she had was a fat ass and a shotgun.
I
All right?
can't.
So if you
Not
asking
a
what we
fat
need
ass.
today,
Not a
if
fat
you're
ass.
asking what we need today, she did have a fat ass though. If you're asking what we need today, I would have followed that ass too. I was telling you in the car.
Some niggas followed her for the ass.
I was
Some
telling
niggas
you in the
followed
car, I
her
was
for the
like,
shotgun.
look, if she would have came up to me talking all sweet, she would have had to come with a different approach with a nigga like me, because I would have been in the porch making some water.
I can't.
He
some
said,
lemonade.
nah, he found, bro. He said she would have had to have a convincing argument because I'm a house nigga.
I can't.
She would
I
have.
was like, bro, you foul as fuck.
How's
bro.
that foul, bro? I just-
He talking about I ain't gonna give up on this house.
I'm in the crib.
Yo.
I'm in the crib. But nah, that's a perfect example though. A lot of the difference that's made in our community is usually from motivation through the words,
Okay, so speaking of that,
not money.
if we're gonna talk about our community and how words can affect us. Recently, there's been a lot of with the Donald Glover shit. People have come out and said like, "Oh yeah, he pro-black and all that shit," but they keep on showing the pictures of him.
I
and
was just
him
gonna
and his
talk
him
about
and his
that.
white chick that I don't know if he's married to her or not, but how he got
has a baby
He's with a white girl.
yeah, he's with a white girl. I think she
Yeah, I'm
he-
surprised-
Donald Glover.
I'm surprised you
or
haven't
she's
seen these
Armenian.
pictures.
She could be Armenian.
What?
She could be like,
Damn.
So everybody's like, "Oh, you so woke." but you got a white girlfriend or a white
She's a
wife. I don't
spy.
know what she is.
And the
She's a spy.
the question is, can you be pro-black and date white people or like, date outside your race? But we're gonna talk about white people though, because that's the one that infuriates black people.
Yes.
I say no.
Why?
Hot take. It's the hot take. Okay, and I was explaining this to Swaff too. We had a long ass. We drove 7 hours. So we had a long ass car ride.
Okay.
I said, this is not me. When I say no, I'm not saying like I'm against interracial relationships because I personally don't give a fuck who you fucking with. If you want me to be frank, you can do whatever you want, whatever make you happy. If you like it, I love it. But when it comes to that question, can you be pro-black and date outside your race? It's like, to be pro-black is to be what? Black 365. I love and support everything that's, that has to come with melanin or come from Africa.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Dashiki down to the sock. For your mindset to be of that, and for everything you say and everything, how you act, how you move to be pro-black, for you to date a white person or someone out of your race, or if we're going to talk about white people, just to date a white person.
If that's the logic you're going by, then we shouldn't be using white products. We shouldn't
We
be
shouldn't.
we shouldn't be talking
Are you
to any
pro-black?
white
Shouldn't be
people.
wearing
Are you
white
pro-
tees.
You shouldn't be talking to white people. Like that's taking it to
I'm
the
just
extreme.
saying. No,
like,
but I'm saying if you're pro-black, if you're a pro-black person, the message of pro-black is that if you're a man, a black woman, or black people, like even if you was gay and pro-black, you should only be with niggas. Like I should only see you with niggas.
no.
Like
That's old fashioned. That's very Old Testament to
I'm
say.
just saying, like, but you're
Put that in New Testament
No,
form, which is today's world.
No,
and is that one possible?
We just
Is that
talked
two?
about how today's world doesn't always mean it's the best world. We just talked about how social media is of today's world.
I'm not
and
saying
we
the best
against most
world.
of that
I'm saying
shit.
reality.
Reality is social media.
Realistically, one, is your definition of pro-black possible? Two,
And that's a great follow-up question because I said no, it's not. You're right, Imani. If I can't consider myself pro-black because some of the I have different opinions on what being black is that doesn't fit to that mold. But I'm saying if you're of that mold, it doesn't make sense.
But like, what about just the simple concept of just like dating a good person, like somebody who's aware of what's going on? They can't understand the struggle.
Exactly.
They can't.
But that's a huge
submerge
thing.
themselves in the struggle. But like, just somebody who is just tolerant, respectful of the black community and the problems that we go through and the struggles and things like that. So if there's a black man dating a white woman or vice versa, having those conversations and being open and honest about those conversations, so the person you're dating doesn't walk around, first of all, ignorant, and the fact that that person even wanted to take the time to listen, because we have plenty of white people out here who are so ignorant because they just don't want to listen.
they don't even want to hear it.
They don't even want to hear it. They don't even give it a chance. So if you're dating somebody who's tolerant of that, I don't think that doesn't make you pro-black, because you're still spreading the message of blackness. You're still making that part of your daily life, your community. You're spreading your people. You're taking this person you're dating them and exposing them to black people culture and black people food. Like that's just, we're spreading more positivity than negativity.
Right. I think it's as much like how you are for black people and black tradition and black culture as it is like trying to avoid situations where it could be detrimental to that concept. So if you are, like you said, if you are dating a white person who's just ignorant to that, that's detrimental to what you stand for as trying to be pro-black.
I don't want to live in a segregated world.
But if you're just dating a white person and you stop there and say, "Oh, you're dating a white person," that's not necessarily saying, "All right, now this is a detrimental situation to the black community," because they could be just as woke. They could be more woke than you. Shit, just because you are black doesn't mean there's not white folks out here who are more knowledgeable on our history.
What I'm saying is this: you mentioned understanding, and I'm gonna relate this to a relationship. In a relationship, the biggest thing that how relationships fail is based off communication.
Yes.
And communication leads to what? Understanding. You mentioned how if there's a white person and you're a black person, you try to have a relationship. There's just certain things they can't understand.
So you're saying can't, as in
black
they
experience,
cannot.
A black experience.
Even if you tell them, if you express yourself,
you could tell somebody something, but to tell somebody and to experience something is two different things.
So they can't empathize. You're saying
They can't
because they can't empathize
to the level of your to the level of your understanding of it. Like you,
As a black
as a
person.
black person,
Right, I see what you're
as
saying.
a
I'm
black
just-
person, understanding racism is totally different as a white person understanding racism.
Well, I mean, how can you empathize with a woman?
I'm just,
How can you empathize with your woman partner?
what do you mean?
Just
As
being
far-
two different genders. Like if we're gonna use that logic of like not being able to empathize. If you're a man,
There's
you're
plenty of things she's
straight,
gonna go through
you're
that
dating
you
a
will
woman.
not be able to understand.
Exactly, but the experience will be. But obviously, nobody's perfect. That's what my follow thing is. Nobody's perfect. You can't completely understand somebody 100%, but you try to, as far as your partner, you try to get as close as you can. And there's certain things that are valuable to you when it comes to understanding in a relationship. As a pro-black person, and again, I'm just speaking on like the concept of being pro-black. If you're dating a white person, your counterpart, there's some things that they just won't be able to understand, and that might be to the detriment to your relationship, because there is certain conversations that you can have that they can't really speak on, and sometimes that might frustrate you in more ways than what you think.
So do you think, switch it now, do you think there's certain aspects of a white person that you would even if they broke it down to you, you just wouldn't understand, wouldn't be able to fathom, wouldn't be able to?
Because everybody has their own struggles.
Everybody has their
Come
own
to a
experience.
common-
Yeah, there's some things
common
like
ground.
a Scottish person could tell me about the Scottish struggle, and they could tell me about it, but I probably wouldn't. I would give the most empathy as I could, but I really could give a cat's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nigga, that's you. But I believe, like I said, the words are powerful, and I believe that you can definitely transfer
experience is reality.
You can transfer over that concept, or at least the experience you have, to the, like you said, because it's not going to be 100%. If you're not cut from the exact same cloth as that person, there are going to be things that they experience that you cannot fully understand. But to that point, if you do it to the best of your ability and you come to some sort of common ground, aka understanding, I don't see that as being a. You can look at that and say,
so you guys are for
Yeah.
interracial.
for
I
sure.
don't think Donald Glover is not woke because who he's
sure, of
dating.
course.
Like,
And I think he's pro-black still.
Okay. So have you guys ever dated outside your race?
no,
Yes.
Why haven't you?
I just love black men too much.
So you have a preference.
I have a preference. I can't see myself.
So if
dating
you
a
have no
white
preference.
guy.
Now? Yeah, I mean, shit, I hate to say it like this. I'm done with white women now.
I can't.
He said he done. He a damn lie. He a damn lie. So I'm
Hey, it's
talking
been
to
10
him like-
years.
Oh,
I don't. I really don't
10
care.
years strong. I got that chip.
I can't. Not
got
the
that chip.
Yeah, I really don't care about. I haven't dated outside of my race, but I have messed around outside of my race. And to me, as long as you cool, you cool. But
yeah,
that's-
I'm not against it or anything like
I'm
that.
not against it, but I'm just saying, like, from the concept that I was bringing up, is like, I don't see how you can be pro-black and be with. I don't know. That's just
I
me.
think you can, because that's just taking into account something something completely different, for real. You bring in a lot of variables to mix and say, but at the root, you're dating you're dating outside your race, and so you can't possibly be for the black community as much as you say.
Those options there. Like
That's
I had
odd.
options
That's
growing
odd.
up. I went to a very interracial high school. Growing up in New York, in Queens, there's so many different types of people and those different men around, and I just never found the interest to like date outside of my race, not even mess around with other people outside of my race.
Okay, so as a, what was you about to say?
I was going to say, to your question, though, because I think you answered it. I asked you, can you be pro-black in America? And you said no.
I said I couldn't.
I'm saying in general.
I
Because
said
eventually,
yeah.
Imani is like, Imani even brought it up. You would have to stop using white products. You would have to stop watching white programs.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna use that logic, everything white,
through
no,
and through.
You can no. I'm saying it will just limit you. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's very limiting. Because you could be
It's
you
impossible.
have to live a simplistic lifestyle.
very, because we're not.
Yeah, we're not
As
in every.
advanced.
That's why I said there's no
I
black
don't even
Walmart.
think you could. I mean, shit. You
Black
can't even
Walmart,
look
oh my
up black-owned companies without getting on the internet or Google,
Right.
using some white software.
Right. How are you gonna find this
How you
shit?
gonna find this shit?
You, damn,
You gotta
nigga,
print it out on white paper.
Are you? Did I
It's
just?
probably on a list.
Did I just take the red pill? Am I in the Matrix? Did I wake up? Nigga? That's how much whiteness is around. There's a lot of Mr. Andersons
You're
out
wearing
here.
white tee right now. Take that shit off, nigga. You better show your bare chest like Donald Glover, nigga.
All right, Imani, you brought
Yes.
up that you never dated outside of your race.
Never date outside.
Speaking
my
of
race.
people who've never,
I
well,
can't.
speaking of people who have dated
Interracial relationships.
interracial relationships and all that other stuff, just recently someone dug up, and by dug up I mean this is 3 years ago, which is like 30 years in today's term. Issa Rae's book, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. And in this book, I think it was a satire book, so I'm gonna say this allegedly. So everything I'm saying is allegedly. She said in her excerpt, Asian men are highly achieving with bad romantic PR, whose women intermarry at a high rate with black men. In fact, black men who achieve a bachelor's degree or higher intermarry at upwards of 30%, basically meaning that they date outside their race. If you have a higher degree, you're 30% more likely.
More wealthy you are, damn near.
Yeah. That makes sense because as soon as it was legal to marry out, black-on-black marriages rates decreased remarkably. From a 2015 journal article, black marriages rates fell at the same time that racial discrimination was declining and black men's wages were growing. She uses that to say that it makes sense because the pickings is slim for black women to date black men, that they should date outside the race, particularly in Asian men, because Asian men, they're just like in their race, they're looked at as less appealing by their own race, which black women feel like compared to their own race, black men would choose to go out more than stay in.
Yes.
And because of that, and they're also highly intelligent, just like black women in the black community are more intelligent than black men, that they should mate together and that will make each other happy.
Like a new
you will get fulfilled. You will get what the what the homophobic black people in church would say, equally yoked. That's what they would say. So that made a lot of motherfuckers hot. And even though this book came out 3 years ago, they just want to bring this shit, everybody dragging shit up.
You see how society.
So somebody on Twitter was like, as an influential black woman, Issa Rae is telling black women to procreate with Asian men because they will intellectually suit black women in her book. Damn, what have we done as black men to be shitted on like this? And this goes to my next question and shit. Like, all right, I've been seeing a lot of slander on black women about black men. I've been on Instagram a lot. I've been seeing a lot of shit, especially, and this is not just like on some one-off things with Issa Rae book. I've seen stuff with Nicki and Meek about how black women hold down black men, and black men still don't appreciate that.
I've seen dear white people.
Dear white people. What's up? What's going on? Why do black women? Why are they seem to be speaking out against black men at the rate they are?
I think there's still this stigma going on that like black men prefer to date outside their race, and honestly, I think everybody's just salty about that. But I thought that was a stigma back in like the 2000s. I didn't know that was still something that we're dealing with today in terms
people would make it seem like it's worse now. Because the way the internet has made the world smaller, you have more options now.
In terms of like a lot of more interracial
you have more interactions.
Going on.
You could do, you know what I'm saying? Like you have different apps. You have people are traveling more. People are exposed to more things.
I wouldn't say they hate black men for. It has to be something deeper because I'm not gonna sit here and truly believe that black women hate black men. Like I can't sit down and really fathom that idea of like hating your own race.
I say they hate on black men. Hate, you're right. It's a strong ass term. That's damn near it's end game. Yeah. If you say you hate somebody, it's done. You're not gonna bounce back from that shit. But if you say, look, they hate on black men a lot, which I think is true, then you start asking questions like why? Like why? Because then you might be able to change their mind or some shit. But if you tell somebody like, oh, I hate him, their mind's made up, you're not changing that shit. They're not gonna get out of that mind state.
I think it's coming out of a reaction based off the field. Meaning that I feel like there has been some type of stereotype or just false rumor that there's not a lot of good black men out there. So pickings are slim. There's more women, there's more black women than there are good black men.
But there's more women in the world than there is men in the world. Like let's take the race and things out of that. In this universe, there is more women than they are men. somebody gonna get left out. I'm sorry to say, like.
So you saying that you already saying hedge your bets.
But there are good men out there, and then there are good black men out there. Like this whole stigma of like the deadbeat dad that will get a girl pregnant and then not raise the kid. Like I'm seeing now more than ever, like black families, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It makes me so happy.
That's social media though.
That's
black
that's
families been around.
That's on the black. It ain't just the Cosbys and the Johnsons from Blackish that have been like the only like it's been 20 or 30 years since we've seen another black family. Like to me, it's like there's been the stigma for one that black men ain't shit. You see that in a lot of movies. A lot of shit. Girls Trip was a whole movie about how black men ain't shit. Like it's always this stigma that black. But then even in that movie, there was a black guy that was, you know, he was like holding a girl, like he was trying to be with, like he wanted to be with her, but he respect their relationship and everything. Even though she was getting dogged out by her other dude,
right.
But it was a balance. Like for every black man that ain't shit, there's a black nigga that's trying to help you lift you up.
And that's in any race.
Okay, think of it like this. That kind of speaks to the case of media in general, because what's hotter, showing a picture of Meek creeping on Nicki, or showing a picture of a black family happily ever after doing their duties? What's more hot? What's the shit that's gonna pop up on your timeline when you're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc.?
Storyline.
What are you gonna read about? You're not gonna read about some happy ass story. I mean, it might be a feel good type situation, but it's only if it's coming from some turmoil. Like only feel good situations happen when it's coming from some chaotic situation.
When y'all just got like Tristan Thompson trying to make up with Chloe.
Right.
I was like, boo, shut up.
That's gonna be some that's something that would be breaking news, but not if he never cheated and he was just happily ever after and he was just a great father from the jump or a great boyfriend from the jump. They're not gonna speak about that shit.
But why is it?
So if that's all they see
as a black woman, why do black women feel that strongly against black men to where it's like they feel like they've been drugged in the mud with black men for years, never been appreciated, never been respected, never felt as an equal, to now where they like calling us all out. Like now they just saying, it's not to say like they done with us, but they really calling us out on our shit for a few bad men.
I think people don't really know how to bounce back from a breakup, and I was having this conversation the other day.
Woo! Talk about it.
Okay, so there's life, right? And when you go through life, you're going to go through different types of relationships, not just like romantic relationships, but like friendships and stuff as well, too. If you were friends with somebody and you were friends with them for years, you guys were best friends and they were of another race, right? And one day you guys fall out for whatever. People don't have that mentality of, well, I'll never be friends with a white person ever again. Like, no, I've seen people like move on from friendships and bounce back. That same mentality of like, oh, if you do me dirty, it's cool, I'll cut you off, just move on to the next person. People don't know how to bounce back from a breakup, because when you're in a relationship and it doesn't work out, you're supposed to learn and you're supposed to grow from that. And people are so focused on the fact of, oh, black men, quote unquote, ain't shit. But like, no, what about the characteristics of that person? What is it about these certain people that you keep getting dogged out time and time again? Because remember I said earlier in the episode, I only date black men. And I've dated some shitty black men in my lifetime.
So is that by chance or choice?
What, the only dating black men? Mm-hmm. That's by choice. That's just my preference.
So you've been interested in somebody else in another race, and you said, you know what?
No, that's
where
the point.
You fall off.
That's the point. I've never been interested in another race, like at all.
I thought the point was going to be.
Oh, you're prejudiced.
I thought the point was going to be, even though you've been dogged out by certain black men, you still try. Like you still.
That's the point I was getting to.
Move forward, because you don't generalize.
You do not generalize. You learn from that experience. You figure out, okay, what happened in this specific relationship. Like, stop putting it on race and look at that specific relationship and see, why didn't it work out? Okay, you go date the other black man, because there's good ones out there. Stop generalizing this one group of people.
Just go ahead and say it, bro.
But I feel like black women do give up.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to make, bro. Like, why are you so quick to? And then, okay, now when you give up on black men, then they don't be wanting to date other outside their race. So what, you just gonna be single for the rest of your life? Fuck it. Throw your hands up in the air. I've been dogged out by too many niggas.
From black women more than any other race. I'm done with y'all niggas.
And they be serious too.
Dead ass serious.
They don't date outside their race. They don't date in their race.
They don't care to meet.
I feel like it comes from
learn how to bounce back from a breakup.
It comes from we're in 2018, right? So not only are gender roles switching up, but just roles of like women are starting to be looked at as very multi-complex people than they ever have been before in history. As far as they can do a lot more, they're responsible for a lot more now. I'm just not the woman at the home cooking and all that, taking care of kids. Like, I could do more. So with that added responsibility, there's going to be a certain consequence that comes from it. And the consequence of that being is you're going to have to start hunting like these niggas do.
Like, you have to fish through the bad niggas to find the good ones. I'm sorry to tell you.
This ain't hunter-gatherers no more. This ain't 18, 19 no more, baby girl.
You gonna get your heart broken.
Niggas ain't gonna just drop shit off to you for you to deal. Like, you gonna have to go out here in these streets and do your own research. Do your own, like.
You might be picking up the wrong type of niggas because you hanging around the wrong type of people. Look at it. Like,
because you waiting on niggas. Niggas are. When you wait for things, you get what you get. Like, beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying? Like but if you go out,
it's gonna come to you naturally.
Whatever's gonna come to you is gonna come to you naturally. So, but if you put yourself in certain situations, or if you just put yourself out there and give other people a shot instead of waiting for people to come up to you, and then for you to shift through that, like.
And niggas get a bad rep for being willing to move on to the next after like a breakup or after a situationship ends.
Especially women.
Yeah,
if you move on too fast, she a pop, she a hoe, no, like all that. Like,
and women need to stop, like, just because you date other men or maybe like niggas do the same thing. Like,
multi-dating.
Multi-dating. Like, we do the same thing.
We look at y'all with that negative light though. It's like, oh, you get, because at some point if you're in a relationship, that's a mark, like that's an indicator. Like, all right, she's giving herself up to that nigga to a certain degree. You don't do that with just any nigga. They have to reach that point. So if you're doing that and reaching that point with multiple niggas common and often, yeah, you're going to get that stigma and label as you a hoe.
No, to me, a hoe could be a man or a woman. Like, if you sleeping around, you sleeping around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but the only reason why you will be called a hoe is if your shit is out in the business, though. Like, out in the streets. Like, if everybody know your business, then that's how you're more likely to be called a hoe, man or woman.
Right.
Like,
if you private about your shit, you can't be a hoe.
Real G's moving silence.
Nah.
Real G's moving silence, bro.
Niggas, you're not gonna call a nigga a hoe for the same reasons that you would call a woman a hoe.
Nigga, if you sleep around,
you can have a nigga who has 10 bodies in the past. You could look at a nigga and be like, you fucked 10 people in the past 5 months. And he's just a nigga who fucked in the past 10 months. Now you ask that same woman, a counterpart, the same question, and what do you think? She fucked 10 people in the past 5 months.
I'm thinking, like, I don't need to mess.
That's 2 niggas a month.
I'm thinking I don't need to mess with her because she does
do the math. You start doing math and simplify.
I would say, like, I don't need to mess with her because she don't know what she want. That's why she fucking all them niggas, and I'm not trying to be in that mess. Just like if you was to fuck, you
being PC.
No, I ain't being PC. I'm being real.
Be like, oh, you're.
Nah, just like I know
still
this
finding
motherfucker
yourself.
don't know what she wants, so I'm not trying to do it. I need to deal with women that know what they want. They know themselves. She don't know herself. Just like if you was fucking 10 bitches.
Why are you giving her that label? She doesn't know herself.
Because I would give the same thing for you.
What if she likes fucking around with
I tell you the same thing, bro. I tell you not to get.
No, because if a nigga's fucking 10 women, you thinking, oh, he likes pussy. He just likes fucking around. It's not that label, that negative label.
That's not a negative label to me.
What, not knowing yourself?
Not knowing yourself, not negative. You still need to find yourself. You're young. We all young. We ain't even 30 yet. We're not even close to 30. And I'm asking you to know yourself. That's a high level maturity thing that I'm requiring. That's my standard. You know what I'm saying?
But you're usually a black and white nigga. So are you saying not knowing yourself is a good thing?
No, I'm saying not knowing yourself.
All right, no.
It's part of life.
It's part of life.
It's part of life.
So I have to accept that.
So our job ain't complete until we know ourselves.
You shouldn't be in your 30s and you still don't know yourself.
You shouldn't be in your 30s and still fucking around like you in your 20s. That's what I'm saying.
So you putting the age to it just because what? At some point, as you get older, you learn yourself more.
Some people mature faster than others. So you could be in your 20s and you know yourself. It's not really an age limit on it per se. It's just like
it's my standard view. It's my standard. Like if you 30,
and that's
if you 30 years old,
stereotype y'all putting on it. Like you're saying by 30, every person should know themselves. Why would that be the case if we're all different and learn ourselves at a different rate?
Because I have high standards for people, and if you don't fit that standards, then you ain't shit to me.
I'm not.
If you want me to be black and white.
Exactly. So if you don't know yourself and you're fucking 10 niggas in 5 months, you're all.
That's if you're 30 though.
A whore.
Only if you're 30.
Yeah.
But if you're 25.
If you're 25, she's still going through her whole phase, just like you still going through your whole phase.
a hoe phase is a good thing or a bad thing to you?
It's a necessary thing.
It's necessary.
It's necessary.
It's a necessary thing.
Yes. You keep on trying to make it good or bad. I'm saying it's life.
I mean, that's what it is. That's how you gotta. I mean, that's how you're gonna have to categorize it.
Good
bro.
or bad is up to your perspective.
Don't put yourself in a situation where you can't bounce back now. You know what I'm saying? The STD thing, the whole like 9 yards, like it's everybody that I know have gone through a hoe stage. Depending on how long it lasts. But my main point
with black women is just like they're like don't generalize. Like that's the thing. Like because you only know one thing, the more you see of the same thing, the more you want to generalize. Like if you only ate breakfast as your 3 squares of meals, that's all you know. You're gonna be like, damn, bro, breakfast shitty. That's all I ever been. You know what I'm saying? Like it's shitty as fuck. I'm always getting the same shit. I'm tired of these nasty ass eggs. I'm tired of taste of bacon. I'm tired of waffles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I get a good breakfast? I've been dealing with the same meal for the rest of my life. Like, why can't I get something else? I've been dealing with the same meal. It's like, nigga, go to lunch. Get dinner. There's other shit out here for you. You don't have to eat breakfast.
Black men out here. I'll advocate for you guys.
You don't have to go to Waffle House. You can go to First Watch if you want a good breakfast.
First Watch.
But if you don't like breakfast no more, go get lunch. Go get dinner. Basically saying to black women, if you don't like niggas no more, that's on you. That don't mean you got to shit on breakfast.
I don't know. I feel like we shit on hoes. Shit.
I mean, that we knew that.
But you using hoes as women though, right?
I'm saying hoes, period.
Oh yeah, everybody shit on hoes. Nobody want to be no hoe. Like,
I mean, but some motherfuckers just might enjoy fucking.
Some people do, but that's not the motherfuckers I'm looking for.
That's you.
There's somebody for everybody.
Right. There's somebody for everybody though. There's some people who are fine with your girl.
2 hoes cannot get along. 2 hoes cannot get along. You ain't never. When the last time you seen 2 hoes get along?
2 hoes hang around hoes, so all hoes get along in my eyes.
Them hoes don't stay friends for long. Them hoes be like, they have Bugs Life relationships. They let shit last about 2 weeks.
But hoes are tight, especially if they don't argue over the same dick. Or in this case, in another case, 2 niggas can be hoes, fucking around the same circle, as long as they don't let themselves catch feelings for one of them.
That's the thing. That's a lot of variables that you putting out there.
He just said hella shit.
Yeah, he just said a bunch of shit.
That was 2 stipulations.
You just gotta keep putting yourself out there. Please don't be discouraged or feel like you have to go to other races because you feel like other races love you more. We love you. We support you. Keep doing your thing. Keep being a boss. You hear
Black
me?
women, get your shit together.
Please. PSA.
Get your shit together.
You're gonna get your heart broken and it's okay.
Open up your mind. This ain't me talking down to you trying to mansplain shit, but open up your mind. Do some new shit. I mean, like,
go to a different place. Stop finding men at the club.
Instead of driving left, instead of driving left, go right for once. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a new way home.
Take a see some different scenery.
Yeah, go to the aquarium every now and then. Do some white people shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's good people.
Go skydiving. You might meet a nigga who want to skydive.
I'll give y'all some advice. Look.
He might bounce back to you.
To my black women, go in understanding this.
Niggas ain't shit.
Niggas are going fuck up. Niggas fuck up every day. I fucked up today. Nick probably fucked up yesterday.
I can't.
Don't put me out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm already in hot water.
I'm just saying. Niggas is gonna fuck up.
Oh my god.
Humble yourselves.
Please.
Don't know you're working with a work in progress.
Because you are a work in progress as well.
Exactly.
You are not perfect.
Exactly.
Niggas are like Marvel movies, all right?
Okay.
We're not at Infinity Wars yet.
We're usually 10 years in the making. Our peak is usually 10 years away.
We still at the Incredible Hulk.
Niggas are like Marvel movies. One movie we fuck around disappear.
And if it really happens for you ladies that I can't with them. If it really happens for you that like you
it's
feel
gonna take us a while to find our soul stone.
Stop. Stop.
A bitch gotta die for us to find our soul stone.
If you feel like, all right, well, maybe black men are just really not the race for me as a black woman, I'm not judging you. That's okay too. But stop generalizing the black men that are out there because you're putting a bad word.
You're making it hard for us to get some pussy. That's what basically I'm trying to say. You're making us the mouthpiece gotta be a A1 now, A1 plus.
Excuse me.
It gotta be. I'm just saying, like when there's a lot. If I was somebody outside looking in, and I saw a black man, I'm hearing all this slander about. I'm like, black man ain't shit. That black man has to do a lot for me to even acknowledge that.
You got to do more work now.
Making it easy for everybody else.
Only the black women think that though, because a white girl give a not shit nigga a chance in a heartbeat.
Love some black. Oh,
That's the only.
Heartbeat.
I told you the only time you see interracial
I got a perfect
couples,
example of that.
interracial couples on the streets, you either see like a smart, nerdy black dude with a white woman, or you see that crackhead relationship where it's that scoundrel ass white girl getting chased by a black nigga in a hoodie, and he's out usually her dealer.
And there was that whole debate going on about the Donald Glover thing and his wife and or girlfriend saying how black women don't date like nerdy black men. And there was a whole debate going on back and forth about that.
Black women did not give a fuck about nerdy white black dudes in a certain era. It was that 2000 era. Soldier
You
Boy
wanted a
era.
hood dude.
Yeah, you wanted a hood nigga at that time.
Hood dude.
This is Jeezy, T.I., Gucci era. You know what I'm saying? The hood nigga
With a
was in
chain.
Yeah, now that we in Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, you know,
We want
Childish
the
Gambino.
eccentric niggas now.
So you think music is drove that?
Yeah.
And culture in general.
In the 90s
Like,
and
they're
early
in the
2000s,
forefront.
bro, what nigga you know, Kanye was the mold as far as he broke down barriers for niggas with polos and shit.
Nah, you said Kanye or
Yeah,
Common?
Kanye.
Nobody was Kanye was getting he was getting Erykah Badu pussy, and that fucked up his career.
But Erykah Badu pussy is a commodity.
It's a
Andre 3000 didn't even start his career because of it.
Andre 3000 has dropped the album since he fucked Erykah.
Exactly. He didn't start his career since Erykah came through.
I can't.
Let's keep it about. I love Erykah Badu, but shit, you got
She ruins careers.
Your pussy
and a
so good.
lot of niggas.
Your pussy so good, a nigga say fuck it, I'm done.
All right, I don't want this line of work.
Stop.
I don't want to be your competition. I want to be your partner.
Oh no, she probably got that get out pussy.
Stop.
She-
The
What,
sunken
that sunken
place?
place?
that sucker place pussy. She screwed that T up.
I won't be surprised. I'm shit. Is she VP?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
VP?
She up there with Patti LaBelle. All right. That's our talk for today. For black women, we support you. You know what I'm saying? I love black women.
Black
I'm with a
men,
woman,
I
you know what
love
I'm
you.
saying? Like,
You're awesome.
yeah. Swaff,
Keep doing your thing.
Swaff is with others. So
He checked the others bubble.
He with them bitches that check others. You don't know what they are. And he with the bitches that look like The Rock. You don't know what race they are.
Oh. Oh.
That's true. I don't have a preference. I'm all on the board. I'm mixed myself. So you feel me? Every relationship I'm in from here on out is gonna be interracial.
You just like good people.
Yeah, for sure.
He like good
Nick's
pussy.
a little different. He could date a white girl and he's still in a black relationship. But Imani,
Yes,
stick with the black niggas.
I will.
If
You got yourself.
if you get-
you got yourself a real nigga, man.
I'm good.
You
Thanks.
got a pink
A
lip
nigga.
ass nigga.
He a nigga. You got a nigga. But
All right,
Follow
that-
us.
hey, I enjoyed coming back, y'all.
Yeah, he gonna be
Listen,
gone for a while. He
it's
gonna be
been
just
too
like a black
long.
nigga and be here for a few
Stop.
seconds and leave.
Imani's coming in November.
Yes, I'm moving down to Atlanta soon, so
I potentially have a guest, a new guest. I mean, not new guest, but a new host. If Judy isn't able to transition
Judy don't
with
fuck with
us.
us no more. She's getting that dick
Hey,
dropped
Judy getting her
off.
own podcast too. Judy's Point
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up
look
soon.
out for Judy's
Coming
Point.
soon.
Follow us at NDR513 on Instagram.
We might have to change that because we're gonna be moving out of 513.
Oh, true.
Moving to the 707.
Wow. What's the area code?
Nah, we ain't changing
707.
it. We still
707.
Cincinnati to the heart. We still a Cincinnati podcast.
Aw, can we just
we're
make it
on
official?
location. We're
Can we
on-
just change it to no disrespect? Is that an option?
Nah, we Cincinnati. We Cincinnati wherever we go.
But we're international now.
That is true.
Feel me? We gotta
Right. We got
expand.
motherfucking listeners in Africa now.
For right now, it's NDR513, but we'll let you know if it changes. We'll talk about that. Follow us on Facebook at No Disrespect. That's with 2 S's.
And yeah, just for any comments or anything like that, we want to hear from y'all. Just shout
Talk
us
to
out.
us.
Talk to us.
Black women, let us know why you hate us.
Say that, though.
Black men, why do you love white women?
Right. Why-
And white women, why are you listening to this podcast? All right, that's no disrespect. You know everything we say, we mean no disrespect. So check us out next week. Holla.
Bye.
Peace.